Earlier that day, Peculiar was seen preaching in a motor park, and few hours later, he was dead and buried in a shallow grave along the expressway. What happened to Peculiar? How did he end up dead? Who killed him and why was he killed? To get more stories like this, click on the subscribe button to stay updated with true crime stories happening across Africa, and I really appreciate your support. On the 17th of December 2023, Oluwatosin Oladibe, popularly known as Peculiar, went with some members of his family for a program at Redemption Camp, Lagos. After the program, he was nowhere to be found. His family searched everywhere for him, but he was nowhere to be found. His older brother called his number, but it was switched off. So they went over to Agor police station and filed a missing persons report stating Peculiar was missing, and investigation and search for him began. Meanwhile, his older brother didn't give up on him. He continued calling his number until on the 22nd of December, his phone rang and someone picked the call. The person on the other end of the call told him he picked the phone along the expressway. He said his name is Saraki and gave him a location to come get the phone. With this information, Peculiar's family started wondering how his phone number was picked on a highway very far away from the location he was last seen. To this effect, they made another report to a police station very close to the highway and asked the police to please follow them meet with the man that claimed he picked the phone. At the location, Saraki told them and the police that the phone was picked up along Agor Iwoye Road by two of his boys. The two boys were immediately arrested and they led the police to the particular spot where they picked the phone. At the site, the detectives were looking around, hoping to pick another clue or trail that would lead them to find Peculiar. Then they noticed a shallow grave at the corner of the site. This discovery made the police to wonder why Peculiar went missing. His phone picked at the highway and a freshly dug shallow grave seen very close to the spot. So they invited the community elders for questioning. The elders disclosed to the police that one morning they woke up to find a dead body of a man by the side of the expressway. They said from how the body looked so disfigured and many bones broken, it looked like the deceased was killed by a hit-and-run driver. They said the body stayed there for many days and no one came to pick it up, not even the police. When it started decomposing, they decided to just dig a shallow grave by the side of the expressway and bury the body. Make sure you watch this video to the end because you will find so many twists, confusions and many questions. So on December 25th, 2023, the police called Peculiar family to update them how far they have gone with their investigation. They told them they discovered an unknown body buried in a shallow grave by the side of the expressway and asked them to come over to the highway to be able to identify the body and also come with Peculiar's picture. Before they made this call, the police had sought the permission of the elders of the community to dig up the body buried in the shallow grave, but they refused. It's not stated why they refused the police digging the body up, but I think it may have something to do with their customs and tradition. Instead, they asked the police to produce a picture of the missing man because they also took a picture of the dead body before they buried it. When Peculiar family members got to the community and produced the picture, lo and behold, it tallied with the picture of the dead body buried in a shallow grave. It turned out the dead man is Peculiar, but one thing seemed odd. The community elders said the deceased looked like he was killed by a hit-and-run driver. But looking around the site and on the picture, there was no sign of blood. Because if he had been hit by a car, he was expected to bleed out, but there was no sign of blood anywhere on the site, on the expressway, and even on the picture. Heartbroken that their son and brother is dead, Peculiar family left the site. They circulated the news of his death all over social media while contemplating whether to dig him up and give him a proper burial or allow him rest by the side of the expressway. And as the news of the Peculiar's death circulated, his older brother received a call from an anonymous caller. This caller told Peculiar's brother that he's not sure the body they found in the shallow grave was actually Peculiar's body, and if he was dead, he wasn't killed by any accident. The anonymous caller said he was in a motor park on the 17th of December 2023 and saw the deceased preaching the gospel inside the park. He said as he preached, a lot of people were displeased with his preaching to the point some persons asked him to leave the park as soon as possible. He further disclosed that as the argument was going on inside the park, a guy picked up an iron rod and used it to hit Peculiar on the head and he fell down. He said he fell and was on his knees bleeding and even sent him some pictures to prove his story. An anonymous scholar went on to say that as the blood was gushing out of Pekulia's head, some people started pouring water on him in order to help him, and then called the police to come take him away. He said the police came and took him away, and they thought he'd be taken to the hospital for treatment, and he didn't understand the twist of Pekulia being killed by an accident. By now, you understand that the deceased family will be thrown into confusion and more pain. Pekulia went missing and they reported to the police. His phone was found and they still updated the police about it. How come this person sent them picture from a park and say it was the police that took him away? Did the police know all this while what happened to Pekulia and still kept quiet? Well, let's find out. Pekulia family went back to the police station and disclosed what the anonymous scholar told them, and also presented the picture he sent them to them. But the police denied the allegation. Few days passed, the police came back to say they remember they picked the deceased at the park, but there was no injury or any blood on him. More twists on the story. With all this confusion and different stories coming from different angles, the deceased family decided to go to that particular park and interview the people there. At the park, the people there gave emerging information and testimony with the word of the anonymous scholar. They also produced some pictorial evidences showing the deceased on his knees bleeding from the head. Some even provided video evidences. This revelation raised a lot of speculation, because how come the police that took him away deny ever knowing him and even joined in the search for him? How come they denied but later turned around to agree they took him away from the park? How come they took him away and he ended up dead at the highway? What actually happened to Pekulia and who killed him? Could it be he was killed by the police and dumped along the highway? Or could it be the police took him away and then dumped him on the highway, leading him to being hit by a car? Until now, nothing has been said about what happened to Pekulia. The police has said nothing, but from my analysis, I don't believe Pekulia was killed in an accident, because from the picture and video evidence produced by the community where he was buried in a shallow grave, there was no sign of blood anywhere to indicate he was hit by a car, bled and died at the spot. The community said they woke up to find a dead man on the highway. The picture showed it's possible he was killed somewhere else and then dumped along the highway. The deceased was in the custody of the police before he was found dead, and the police denied knowing what happened to him. Everyone wants to know what happened to him. So what are your thoughts and sentiments? Write them down in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see the next chilling crime story coming up.